I suppose there are not that many. Somebody just mentioned Chris Coleman there in text. There's not that many contenders.
Yeah, I mean the Coleman one's been there, hovering in the background. I think I made this point to Joe during the week, without anyone necessarily writing a story, about him being viewed as a sort of a top candidate. But he's one that ticks boxes, and maybe at some point, I'd be very dismissive of the bookmaking markets on this stuff. I'd be very dismissive of it. But in saying that, he did end up in some of the exchange markets. So maybe someone at some stage had information that made them believe it was worth something. But yeah, I mean, I can see how he would tick some of the boxes. A bit of international experience, etc. But again, you'd still be slightly surprised if that was who was produced at the end of the process. But maybe. I'm
going to be surprised no matter who's if
it's not Carsley, I don't know.
If it's not Carsley,
unless as I said,
I've
through
no idea
their inquiries they've end up hitting on someone else that wasn't in the frame at the start of it, because it's very hard to see, appointing. We all know the game, right? Whoever you appoint, you have to try and say, well, this is always the person. Nothing was certain, right? And I get that. That's the charade. That's the way it goes. But yeah, it's at this point of the wait, you want to be producing something that people are like, wow, as opposed to this is blatant fallback.
Where is it going to come from? I just struggle to see who the wow could be, or struggle to see them working hard to find a wow. Obviously we don't know what they're doing, but
and maybe
you would think.
Look, you should be.
I'm astounded. I suppose the best way of me putting it is I'm amazed that a left field name still hasn't appeared. Still hasn't. I keep expecting a name to come in from somewhere else that we all go, that's a good shout. That would make
a Ralph
sense.
Hasenhüttl.
Yeah, but as well. I mean, I suppose we're talking. I mean, I've done it myself. We're talking about the wow. I guess you shouldn't allow. I mean, the process also shouldn't be governed by what you think the reaction might be.
I'm not even looking for a wow.
No, I'm not suggesting you are. Sorry,
I'm looking. I was saying that you go. Oh yeah, I can see the logic here. This is an intriguing one.
But in a way, you need to have the confidence to stand behind whatever you're putting forward, even if it's a candidate that some people are like, oh, I'm not sure about this. But if they're able to come out and say, no, our homework, our discussions, we actually think this person does tick the box, but. I sense they're quite PR sensitive to things. So, I feel the fatigue, but I'm also fascinated to see how they present, how it turns out. And as I said, I still feel as Arsenal score again, I think
4-0 Leandro Trossard at Burnley.
You have to go back to Carsley and don't let that one fall away on the basis of something that maybe could be done without obviously being silly with money.